Guys, now we're starting a new series in learning the bash shell. This is the reason why I see a lot of us, we don't even understand what each command does. We don't even know how to use them, of which this is not right. This is not right. You need to know how to use the bash shell. You just need to know how to use your shell. And this video is going to really help you in achieving that. Now, in this particular video, we'll be discussing on three major concepts, which is the cd command, the mv command, and the ls command. Now, we'll be discussing extensively how to use these three commands: the cd command, the mv command, and the ls command. Alright, let's go. Now, the cd command, which stands for change directory. By cd I mean this literally. However, this was not what it was originally. It was this. Now, with time it evolved to just this. Now, what does this cd mean? Change directory. However, this particular command here means a lot of things. Means what? A lot of things. By me saying just a cd without passing in any other arguments, because as of now you guys know that cd, and then you tell it the directory name you want to move to, or you provide the absolute file path of the directory, and it takes you there automatically. But then you didn't know that passing cd alone would still work. It won't give you error. Meaning there are what? Variations of cd. The very first variation of cd command is just passing cd only. Now, what does this single cd do? Now, this particular cd changes the user's directory to its default directory. Meaning, if you are in any position, any directory, and you pass in the cd command to your shell without adding further argument, by further argument I mean probably name of folder, without passing in other arguments, this is basically going to take the user to its default home directory if the user is not already on the home directory. Now, if the user is already on his default home directory, is basically just going to return without doing nothing, because you're already on your default home directory. To verify this, I'm going to use a pwd command to actually show you guys where I am currently. Now, you can see the absolute path of the directory where I am, which is home vagrant _9 shell basics. Now, if I pass in the cd command, it's basically going to take me to my default home directory. Now, there's also a way you can actually change your default home directory to be another directory, but that is outside the context of this particular tutorial. Now, I'm basically going to just do cd and just click on enter. Now, you can see in a twinkle of an eye that my current directory has changed. If I'm going to run a pwd again, the pwd command stands for what? Print working directory. If I'm going to do the pwd command again and click on my return key or my enter key, you see that it prints out another file path for me, which is home/vagrant. It therefore means that /home/vagrant is my default home directory. By default home directory, I mean anytime you spin up your machine, the first directory in which you land on is your default directory. So probably when you run your sandbox, your landing directory in the outside world, in the marketing world, they call it landing page. Your landing directory is your default directory. There's also another variation of the CD, which is what? CD dash. Now, what does this do? Please listen. The CD dash actually takes a user to his previous working directory. The CD dash takes a user to his previous working directory. Now, if you follow me closely, you realize that here is my previous working directory. Now, here is my current directory. So it therefore means that if I do in this CD dash, I'm basically going to return here. Is that true? Well, let's find out. Now you can see I am back where I started originally. The CD dash basically returns you to your previous working directory. If I'm still going to do CD dash again, you see I'm back on the home /home/vagrant. If I repeat the same command again, I'm back there. It takes you back to your previous working directory. Now, the next variation of the CD command is actually what? The CD or tilde. What does this command mean? Okay, now the CD tilde does exactly the same as the CD, in the sense that the CD tilde still takes the user to his default directory. To verify this, I'm just going to click on enter. If I run in a Pwd, you see it still takes the user to his home directory, to his what? Home directory, to his default home directory. Now the next command is what? The CD ... Now before we do this, let's do in the CD dash. Alright, now the CD ... simply means you want to go one directory backward. Now look at this particular directory I am on currently. I know that from here to this point is /home/vagrant, while the complete file path from here to this point is /home/vagrant /quad9 / shell basics. Meaning, if I'm doing the CD ... I'm saying I want to go one directory backward. Now, if I'm going one directory backward, therefore means that my current working directory will now be /home/vagrant /cohort9. Well, let's verify this. Now you can see I run in the Pwd to verify. Now you can see it's exactly the way we expected it. The next command is what? The CD dot. Now the dot basically means I want to do things in my current directory, or the dot there basically saying your current directory. So when you are passing in the CD dot, it basically doesn't do anything. It's equivalent to you doing a CD command in the user's default home directory, because doing a CD dot in a folder basically telling the shell that, hey, I want you to change my directory to my current folder, and you're already there. So that's the reason why it just returns. It actually does execute your statement. And now also there's a CD forward slash. Now, the forward slash here is signifying what? The root directory. Now there's a difference between the root directory and the root folder. In the Linux file tree, there is a root directory, which in some articles they call it the mother directory, and there's also a directory called /root or root. So passing in the cd / is basically telling the shell that, hey, I want to go to the mother directory where all directories are bettered from. With that, we've gotten the useful tricks and knowledge that we need to use the cd command appropriately. Now I'm just going to clear my screen. The next command we are going to do is what? The ls command. Now a lot of you all simply know that the ls command only lists file in your current working directory. But did you know that you can also use the ls command to look at things in another directory? Did you also know that with the help of flags or with the help of options, you can increase the productivity of the ls command, that it shows you more stuff? So first, let's run an ls command. Now you can see I have these 4 files here, which is great. Now if I want to see these files in a long format, wherein I can see the permissions of the file, the groups the file belongs to, the owner who created the file, the ID, and the file metadata, I could actually do that. But just passing in the ls command, I can't. But by adding in an option called L, which stands for long list, now you can see it returns a whole different lot of stuff. I can see the file metadata, I can see the group, I can see the owner, I can see the ID, I can see the permission. I can also see the file type, if it's a directory or it's a file. So basically, this guy here is telling you the first letter here, or the first character is basically telling you either it's a directory or a file. For file, it is being indicated by dash. For directory, it's being indicated by D. The next couple of 9 characters, there's basically telling you the permissions for the owner of the file, the group the file belongs to, and other users, the permissions they have. The next is basically telling you the ID. Here is basically telling you the owner of the file. Here is basically telling you what the group the file belongs to. Here is basically the size. Here is the date, the month rather, the day, and then the time. Right. But then, only passing in the -L, I'm only able to see what? Files. All files. But now here's the catch. The ls command will only list non-dotted files. Because by default, any file that starts with dots is always hidden. So the ls command is not having that ability to list hidden files by just passing in the ls command, or by just passing the ls-l. Now to do that, you can basically add in another flag, which is the ls-l for long list -a. Meaning what I'm saying now is I want the list to be in a long format, and I also want you to include all files That's what this dash A here is saying. List all files, including dotted and non-dotted files. I can also still do this, and then it will work perfectly. Now let's try this. Then come here, put dash A. Now you can see it's basically same output, but then you notice that this particular guy here saves you keystrokes. Now what if I don't want to list the files in my current working directory, because passing in the ls is only going to list files in your current working directory? What if I want to look inside the mother folder? I want to see what's in there. Let's assume I want to still see what is in there in a long listing format, and also see everything, both dotted and non-dotted. What I'll basically do here, I'll pass in the /. Remember I said the / is the mother directory. Just going to pass in this, and now you can see, though I am not in the mother folder, yet I can view things there. Okay, I can also do this and do home. Now you see, I am not there, but yet I am viewing things that are there. Now there are other options that are very, very fantastic to use. So I implore you all to actually go back, pick up your Linux machine, read the man pages, so you could get enlightened, so you could get knowledge. Now the last command we'll be talking in here is the mv command. Now this command is very, very tricky, in the sense that it's same file that basically moves a file, that also basically renames the file. But now, how are you able to know when to rename a file and when to move a file? Because a folder is also a file. How do you know? Because in some situations you might need to move a file, while also in some situations you might need to rename a file. How do you do? Will you now start from the beginning? No, you don't. You don't start from the beginning. Now this is what you do. The mv command also has its own option, but it basically does this: source and destination. Meaning it's going to rename this source to this destination. Now how do we know that this mv will move, or how do we know it's basically going to rename? By just, if these guys are in same directory, let's assume they are in the same directory whereby these guys are. Probably let's take in it. Let me create a directory called test1 and test2. Then let me create an empty file called test3. We call this test4, so that there will not be any mix up. We're going to run the ls. Now you can say I have test1, test2, test3, test4. Now let's do this so that you get to see this. Then let me call this ls. Now you can see test 1 has been renamed to new. Now what if I want to move new to be a direct child of test 2? It's still same thing. MV new, then test 2, enter ls. Now you can see new is no longer there. Now if I'm going to do ls test 2, you can see I have new there. So if you are moving your files, you should know basically how you are going to do them. If you are also going to rename, you should be smart about how you are going to rename them. Well, I'm going to end this particular video here. In the upcoming series, we'll be discussing more on our shell commands and how we can understand them and use them effectively. Alright guys, thank you. Now if you also need more guidance, you can actually click on a link in the description below, or you can actually send me a WhatsApp message so you could get proper guidance. Thank you guys. God bless you.